Hey yo, what is up? Welcome to NinjaGeek Games. 2021 saw some great releases for tabletop games, but sadly I couldn't play them all. However, I did play some for the first time that were particularly awesome. Now, due to lockdown and other commitments, a few of these games I played solo. Why solo, you ask? Well, you can do takebacks and no one will know, plus I still have no friends. Only joking, I don't cheat. Plus, I got tons of friends, like loads. Three. Anyway, it's irrelevant. In this video, I want to share my top 5 solo games that I played for the first time last year. Let's take a look. All or Nothing Productions have produced some wonderful games with some fantastic artwork in lands filled with high fantasy and adventure. At number 5 is Veilwraith, a game designed specifically for solo play set in the Killforth universe. Veilwraith is a card game with some deck building elements set at the end of time in a world devoid of colour, inhabited by lost spirits. Each game is referred to as a vignette that makes up a campaign where you can upgrade cards and gain rewards. Now, during the game, threats are revealed and accumulate that consist of enemies, powerful foes and unique keys. You'll need to use memory cards drawn from your deck that are placed next to one of 3 actions: explore, fight and influence, depending on the threat you wish to overcome. Each action is also associated with a bonus token where at the end of the round the used action card moves position so that the bonus for that action changes next round. Any remaining threats reduce your spirit, so you'll need to complete the vignette before your spirit fades. To do this, you need to locate and accumulate 5 keys from the threat, defeat all foes and escape through the portal. Each vignette has a unique ability to affect the game and also indicates which enemies and foes are present in the threat deck, so each game is completely different. The memory cards in your deck can provide special abilities as well as boosting the action power card value used to overcome the threats. At the end of the game, you can upgrade cards either in your deck or your action cards and the power tokens ready for the next vignette. The game has a haunting theme with a fantastic colourless artwork that draws you into this wonderful world with great gameplay that is typical of All or Nothing Productions. Each enemy and foe is vastly different, giving the game huge replay value, but can be tough at times, although easily reset to play again. Plus, there is an expansion available that supports an epic campaign of 20 vignettes. At 4 is Zed's War 1 Exodus, a follow-up to Damnation from Dice Sports. This is a survival horror zombie game set during a global viral outbreak, sounds familiar, that offers a dark and horrifying campaign. Each chapter of the campaign is preceded by a comic book style story to set the scene, followed by a mission briefing. Each mission is made up of modular tiles set on land, sea and boats, outlining the map, where items and equipment can be found, the location of your objects, and of course multiple spawn points for the shambling undead. At the start of your mission, you'll equip your military personnel with weapons and begin exploring to complete objectives while avoiding zombies and other nasty creatures. Each round allows you to use 4 action points per hero to carry out a multitude of actions for moving, shooting, searching rooms, sprinting and taking aimed shots. Zombies will shamble towards the nearest hero, that is, unless the hero is within line of sight or smell range, where they charge double their movement, think 28 days later, and also appear from one or more of the various spawn points. Now, if you think this is a cliche run and gun zombie shooter, you'd be wrong. Firstly, it's how you approach each mission. You'll want to progress quickly, but this may leave you exposed with all eyes and noses on you. Take too long and you'll surely be overrun. You need to tread carefully, hiding and keeping a good distance where possible, and then dash into cover over open ground. At times you'll need to purposely lead the zombies to other areas of the board to free up another hero, but splitting up is dangerous work. Also, you have limited ammo. Run out and you'll need to use your fists, and so this forces you to spend all actions searching rooms for weapons and ammo, and if bitten, your hero's attributes gradually decline over time. Therefore, this is actually a very tactical game, ensuring you formulate a strategic plan at the right time. You can even creep up on the unsuspecting undead and execute them in cold, clotted blood. At the end of the mission, heroes can level up by gaining some really cool skills called perks to help you with future missions. So, what differs in this game compared to its prequel? Well, find enough items and you can craft some powerful equipment such as tripwires, medkits, nail bombs, and it wouldn't be a zombie game without a Molotov cocktail or 3. There are a vast array of different zombies and creatures to thwart your mission, such as newborns that can move faster than regular zombies, reapers that can swim, and raptors that can pin you and then drag you off to the monstrous sirens. There are also NPCs to rescue, speedboats you can use, plus ammo is now recorded on some nice dials. The miniature quality is okay, not great, but that's fine as the game produces a really good story and the missions are exceptionally fun to play, where if successful, it's usually by the skin of your teeth. You can also carry out each mission standalone, so you don't have to progress through the whole campaign each time you want to play. On a side note, I have developed an epic scenario for Damnation that you can find on the Dice Sports Facebook page in the community tab. Paladins of the West Kingdom is not a 2021 release, but its expansion is, and its expansion, City of Crowns, makes a good game great. The base game is a worker placement set in a time of knights and chivalry, where you need to allocate different types of workers to gain resources to support the development of your city. Some actions require a particular type of worker, and others require you reaching a specific level on one of the 3 attributes first. Both you and the AI own a player board where the vast majority of actions are taken, and there is a central main board that provides endgame scoring bonuses, areas for actions with limited spaces, and spots to place your garrisons and monks to gain immediate bonuses. One action even allows you to place buildings in other action worker spaces, making their cost cheaper in future rounds. Each round you select a tavern card to gain workers, as well as one of your paladin cards that gives you additional workers and a special ability. If at any time you gain a criminal as a worker, you'll need to take a suspicion card that can result in repercussions later. The expansion adds new mechanics, board extensions to reveal additional actions, more cards, and a 4th attribute, diplomacy. The new mechanics include a different way to utilise the paladin cards, and the board actions muster and negotiate that provide some cool effects and bonuses. The AI plays really well and keeps you on the toes, and the game offers a good deal of variability and replayability with differing levels of difficulty. Act 2 is a game based on the epic book trilogy Dune. Dune Imperium is a game with both superb deck building and worker placement mechanics. Now, admittedly, it took me until mid last year to finally open this bad boy, and I'm glad I did, as the spice must flow. In solo mode, you play as one faction against 2 rivals to fight in a control over the flow of spice and gain influence with other houses. As the leader of your faction, you'll play cards from your standard deck that give you some control over which action spaces to place your agents. These allow you to gain and deploy troops, work your way up the influence tracks and gain sneaky intrigue cards and of course spice. Some actions cost Solari, others water, and there is even an action to trade your hard-earned spice for the big bucks. Now, at the start of each round, a conflict card is revealed that gives you insight into rewards for a winning battle, and these are particularly spicy. The rivals have an additional agent termed a Swordmaster that sits within the conflict deck, and when revealed, the rivals gain use of this additional agent for the remainder of the game. The rivals place their agents based on cards drawn from House Hagel deck that can also give battle bonuses, while you still get to use those gained from intrigue cards. They can also gain resources, but will eventually trade these for victory points, and these can rack up very, very quickly. The only issue I had with solo mode was the reveal phase, where you used any gained persuasion to purchase more powerful cards to your deck from the Imperium. In the multiplayer games, the Imperium is constantly being refilled due to purchase cards. In solo play, you could sometimes end up with a row full of expensive cards that just sat there. However, the companion app fixes this problem. This app not only replaces the House Hagel deck, but randomly determines when cards from the Imperium are discarded and makes the game so much better to play. Solo play is really competitive, where the battles are rife and the rival deck plays really well in both blocking actions and supporting their battles. As mentioned, rivals' victory points rack up quickly, so it becomes a fast and furious paced game of skirmishes and intrigue. At number 1 is Fantasy Flight Games' huge release of 2021, and that is Descent Legends of the Dark, as this was a big of a surprise for me, as it probably was for you. Now, I pre-ordered this, watched a few Fantasy Flight Games playthrough videos, and then cancelled my pre-order. But after much deliberation, I jumped back on the bandwagon. This is an app-driven campaign of epic proportions set in Terranoth. The game comes with a load of highly detailed miniatures, 6 of which are heroes, dungeon tiles, cards, and 3D terrain. I've not played too many app-driven games, so was dubious, especially as I didn't like Imperial Assault, but this is really good. Firstly, the campaign tells a great story, the missions are vastly different and also really long. I like the card flipping mechanic where your hero card, weapons and skills are all double-sided with different abilities on each side, where you can turn them over as an action. Careful use of these can develop some cool chain-linked actions that I thought was a nice touch. If you aren't keen on app-driven games, let me tell you this works well. Yes, it tells you how the dungeon expands and where to place scenery and spawned enemies, but it does so much more. You can still move enemies yourself, roll for attacks and defense, but the app works out damage, remaining health, armor, and reminds you of enemy abilities and hints on who to keep your eye on, but still manages to keep you involved physically, which I think was very important. Visiting the town of Frostgate allows you to buy and craft equipment, see which skills are unlocked, and check your complete inventory. During the game, each hero gets 3 actions, one of which must be a maneuver. You have a choice of weapons to use, armour for protection, and can interact with scenery for a multitude of rewards and items. The dungeon can be built up through multiple levels and the 3D terrain looks so good, although the tiles are a little bland. Does this make the game feel overproduced? No, I don't think so. It becomes very thematic with great table presence. I can't tell you how this compares to Journeys into the Dark, as I've not played that, but I can tell you I am so glad I changed my mind on this. Yes, it's expensive, but it has great production value and I've enjoyed every game I've played, so I'm okay with that. Plus, I'm really looking forward to see what Fantasy Flight Games can do with this next. So, that is my top 5 solo games played in 2021. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you agree, or just let me know yours. This is NinjaGeek Games. Thanks for watching.